So here you can see this is ConvertKit, the tool that I use for sending emails, and 134,000 subscribers with an average open rate of 18%. So for the event that we did recently where we had 400 attendees, all the tickets were sold only through the email list. We did not run a single piece of ad for it. Hey guys, pleasure to be here addressing you and sharing my own entrepreneurship journey and journey of having cracked jobs at leadership positions in many well-funded and well-known startups. So I will just take you on a quick timeline of what happened since 2008. So 2008, I graduated from civil engineering. I took civil engineering because my dad has a small construction company back in Salem. And at that time, I was still not this student who was cracking IIT or very very studious student. I was not like that. From 12th standard I was like I just couldn't push myself to take those studies seriously. So I took civil engineering, and 4 years of civil engineering went on. By 2008, when I was just about to complete my civil engineering, I got a job offer from this company. At that time it was called Cariter, and then it got acquired by Keen, and then it got acquired by NTT Data. You might already know. And I had a job offer for 2.75 lakh CTC. And 2008, after I graduated, I did not get a joining date until 2009 because global recession and all that was going on. So 1 year I had free time. So because you can play games, I was so much into games and computer games. I used to buy different magazines like Chip magazine, Digit magazine. You guys might know. A lot of my audience does not even know. They have not even used CDs, but I think some of you guys might have used CDs and all. So I used to buy those magazines just for the free trial of games because internet was also just dial-up connection at that time. And you can keep playing games for 3 months, 4 months, and then eventually you will get bored. And my dad was not really pushing me that hey, you cannot be like idle in the house, because I had a job offer. Like when they call, they call. Until then I have to wait. What can I do? So that space of creativity and blank space where I did not have any expenses, I had enough time, rent was taken care of. Even my dad was not asking me to pay the internet connection fee, and food was taken care of. So during that free time, I was like, chalo kuch karte hai. So I was randomly going through the magazine, and I read about Google AdSense. And Google AdSense was like, oh, a way to make money online. Maybe I should try to make money online. And at that time, Moto Razr was launched. It was the flip flop phone. That was the coolest phone at that time, and it was 15,000 rupees. My goal was that if I just make 15,000 from online and buy this phone myself, which my dad was not ready to buy, he got me a Nokia 1100, which was the simplest phone. That was the entire goal. That's how it started. Then I learned how to install a WordPress blog, learned about Google AdSense, started doing research online, and I set up this motorcycle blog called bikeadvice.in, registered a domain name, and put my first article. So I would go to different showrooms, take pictures of motorcycles, and just write an article about it, because I am extremely passionate about motorcycles, right? So this was how the journey started. And one thing that I did right, which I still follow it today, was that whatever revenue that a business generates initially, reinvest 100% back into the business. Don't try to be a short-term thinker and take the money out of the business. So I started making some $100 a month, $200 a month in AdSense revenue. And at that time, the only way to reinvest it back into the business was to hire more writers and create more articles. And at that time, it was not even called digital marketing. People used to call it internet marketing, but the basics of SEO, social media, email was everything the same. So the community of people who were reading my blog grew up to like 10,000 people in around 8 to 10 months. And I started hiring some writers from the community itself. They were in different cities, and they would also publish a lot of their reviews that they got from the local motorcycle showrooms, their own bikes, friends' bikes. So we used to write like 1,000, 2,000 word articles with pictures. What is the ownership review? Because especially for young guys, like I can't get a girlfriend, the best next thing is get a bike. So it's like such an emotional attachment towards the bike. They do a lot of research. Should I buy Pulsar or Hero Honda or TVS Apache? So there was a passionate crowd there. So I leveraged that crowd. And I did this continuously for 4 years. 2009, I got the call, but I was already making some 30,000-40,000 a month from the blog. So I came to Bangalore, strolled around here for a week, and somehow felt like this is not right for me. And I just absconded and went back to Salem. And I did not even inform anyone that, hey, I'm like quitting the job or something. Because they were also making me wait, and they said 30 days training, and then you have to do an exam, and then only the employment will be confirmed. I did not have patience for it. And my dad supported me in it and went back. And until 2012, I continued going ahead and reinvesting on the blog as it got more and more traffic, optimized it for SEO, got some new design for the blog. So by 2012, the blog was getting 1 million page views a month. It had more than 1 lakh subscribers. The YouTube channel grew to like millions of views across all the videos. And I got invited to China once for covering their motorcycle exhibition on a fully sponsored trip. So that's when I learned digital marketing, and I learned the power of building your own distribution, where you could go ahead and write content, and through the power of content you can get the attention. But I was not doing personal branding. I was just branding the blog and building the blog. 2012, I got married, and then I moved out of my parents' home. And then suddenly, oh, looks like I need to be like making money. Like I'm making a lot of revenue, but I'm reinvesting everything. And I felt like if I don't reinvest everything back into the blog is not going to grow. At that time, also other publications came into the crowd, and it was difficult to get the test rides of bikes, and competition was getting very high on Google. So I felt like that would be a good time to exit, and I had an offer of $25,000 to sell the blog, and I wanted to explore new things in life. So I sold the blog for $25,000. Invested in real estate at that time, but I should have invested in Bitcoin, but that's a different story. Because I did learn about Bitcoin at that time, and it was around like $30 per Bitcoin or something. So anyway, time passes, can't have regrets. Then I came to Bangalore, and how it happened was that I came to an AdTech conference, and in the AdTech conference, I just bombarded each and every booth, saying that, hey, I'm looking for a job, because I also wanted a reason from Salem to Bangalore to move from Salem to Bangalore. But Bangalore cost of living was high, so having a job in hand would be better instead of trying to do something on your own on the side. It would be extremely stressful. So I was like, if I get a job, I could move to Bangalore. Now I am married, moved out of the house anyway. So that way, I just bombarded each and every booth, and I collected the business cards of the people, and I kept on mailing them, created a resume for the first time, because I felt like people were looking for digital marketers at that time. And this entire project that I did, bikeadvice.in, became the project that I could show that, hey, I created a blog, I could drive so much traffic to it, and I can do the same for you and for your clients. So I came to Bangalore, worked for 1 year in a company called Therum India Private Limited, which is an international marketing agency. And then I was very impatient, because as soon as the learning went to a saturation point, I was like, what am I doing here? Either I want to learn more or start something of my own again. So I was not convinced to be in the corporate ladder for the long term. So I started this blog, digitaldeepak.com, in 2013. So it has been 10 years since I started the blog. August is when I started. So by 2023, Digital Deepak has completed 10 years. But at that time, thank you. So at that time, the idea was to use digitaldeepak.com only as a profile builder, because I did not realize that when a lot of digital marketing experts around the world are there, this would actually become as big as Bike Advice. But I could get some traffic to it. I could publish some articles to it, and I could add it to my resume, so that when people are hiring me, they looked at my blog, looked at that, hey, this guy has written so many articles and a certain level of authority. As long as I am better than the other applicants, that's fine. I don't need to be the best. There is this story that they generally say that two people were in the forest camping, and suddenly they saw a bear chasing towards them, and one guy started wearing his shoes, and the other guy asked, like, why are you wearing your shoes? Do you think you can outrun a bear? And he said, I don't need to outrun the bear, I just need to outrun you. So, so that way, whenever you are competing for a job position, you don't need to be the best in the world or in the category for being eligible for that position. You just need to be better than the other options that are there. And I felt having a blog would, be pretty much fit the bill. So when I was in 2012, this digital marketing agency, I was on the side starting this blog, and I was writing only 2 articles a month. If you go into the archives and see the Digital Deepak blog, from 2013 to 2016, there has been only on average 2 to 3 articles a month, which is something that anybody can do. But consistently having published articles on my blog from 2012 to 2016, first of all, from that 5 years, I changed 5 different jobs. But every time, in spite of my bad work history, that I worked for 6 months in Exotel, then 6 months in Practo, 8 months in Instamojo, and then completed 1 year in Razorpay, and then again worked for just 3 months in this company called Mo Engage. Everywhere the position was digital marketing manager. In some companies, I was just starting out as the individual contributor. In some companies, I was heading a team. Made a lot of mistakes along the way. But at the same time, having this personal brand, that I have a blog and I have written sophisticated articles in it, helped me go ahead and made a certain level of FOMO in the companies that you are hiring me, that I want this guy. He seems to be like very smart. We will retain him. So every company thought that they could retain me, while no company could. That is personally me. I am like sort of unemployable, but don't take it as an inspiration though. People here are like building your careers. But I have always worked from that state. But without having worked in all these startups and understanding startup ecosystem, I would not have been able to establish a base in Bangalore, hire my own team, and not just build this startup from the angle of a bootstrap startup or a lifestyle business, but actually build it into something where it becomes a brand of its own. Like I worked at Razorpay, it's a $7.5 billion company. I closely worked with the CEO. So I have built the connections in the industry. And so the work experience was extremely valuable for me. I even got ESOPs allotted to me, because only in Razorpay I completed 1 year. So 25% of the ESOPs were vested. And because I was the 21st employee in Razorpay, at that time it was a no-name company. Now it's a $7.5 billion company. So I will leave it to your imagination that my ESOPs alone has been like significant. So obviously working in a company is definitely going to reduce potential risk by a lot. And you can build wealth predictably. Because entrepreneurship is also very messy, right? We are always on the brink of what's going to happen next. You don't know, and you can't like build that predictable income, because if I withdraw more salary from my own company, I'm feeling like, why am I withdrawing so much salary? This much I could have generated leads, I could have reinvested into the company. So my company is my net worth, everything I'm like putting all in. Which definitely creates a lot of friction when there is family. Like, you are only withdrawing this much and you are spending everything. And I spend 100% of my salary on whatever expenses I have, because I just withdraw the bare minimum that I need from my own company, right? So obviously, if I want to, the confidence is that I always tell my wife that, hey, don't worry, if the business does not work today, if I have to go and get a position as a VP of marketing or a head of marketing in any company, within a few weeks I will be able to get that, because I have built a personal brand, I have written books, I have connection in the industry. It's just a matter of sending out few cold outreach emails, and I know how to negotiate a salary and get the job. So if nothing works, I'm going all in. Then I always have like a backup plan B option. So what my recommendation is for anyone is that my primary teaching in the digital marketing space is into teaching freelancers how to build their own portfolio and build their own authority so that they can get B2B clients. And I also teach people who are coaches who can get B2C clients as their coaching clients and mentees, right? So these are the two things that I focus on. But the exact same formula that I ask people to follow when it comes to building a personal brand for getting freelance clients can also be applied for getting a job, because the only difference between a full-time employee and a freelancer is that a freelancer might have multiple clients, a full-time employee has one client, and your monthly retainer cost is your salary. right? End of the day, you are selling your expertise to somebody. And I have this, so I read this from somewhere, I forgot where I read it from, but this quote keeps ringing around in my head, and I keep repeating it, that the best known will always beat the best. That you can be best in the world at something, but if people don't know that you are good at something, then how will you be able to even have the opportunity to provide your services to somebody who will hire you, right? So having that demand supply equation met, where somebody wants a particular type of talent, when you go ahead and think about, okay, I want to work in this company, what does this company want, and what can I provide of value? So approaching companies with the angle that, hey, I want to provide something of value to you, and I think this is where I can be of value, and this will help you grow your revenues, is what is the approach that I have always taken when I went for job interviews, because you have to appeal to their greed. Um, Recently, I was like listening to an audiobook, and there was this story that a guy was away from his native village, and he had gone to search for work because the wife got pregnant with the fifth baby. And he was like, I need to make more money, like, we can't really survive. So he was going ahead and searching for jobs and everything, and then he got a telegram that the wife delivered the baby, and he was having the telegram in the pocket and going to different places to search for jobs. And there in one of the companies, he said, hey, I want a job. And the person was like, what skills do you have? Do you have sales skills? And he was like, no. Do you have technical skills? Like, no. Do you have people management skills? Like, no. Then why should I give you a job? And he takes this telegram out of his pocket and shows that, see, my wife delivered the fifth baby, right? So unfortunately, India's creativity has just gone in this instead of the technical skills. So the angle is that even today, a lot of people, even people who approach me for jobs, sir, please mujhe job de do. This is the reason I need a job. Like, nobody cares, right? Everybody is going to be selfish, and they are going to think that, what is it that I can gain out of this person, and how this person can add value. And for them, it should look like a deal that the salary that I am paying is going to be less compared to the revenues that he can add for my company. And if you approach from that angle, it's end of the day, just like closing a client, you are closing an employer as your client, and you are basically selling your time in return and your commitment of what you will do in return. So that way, like, for example, I will tell you how I got into Razorpay. So I worked at InstaMojo. InstaMojo was having a lot of big dreams, but honestly, I also felt that they were not really capable of it, because in terms of tech and approach, there were certain things they were missing. And then Razorpay came along as a new competitor. They were started in Jaipur. Then they became a Y Combinator company, got Tiger Global funding of $10 million, and they moved to Bangalore with a small team of around 15 people. They were working out of a house. And since I was in the payment gateway industry, we would be like looking at our competitors and everything. I was keeping an eye on them. That the founding team looks like very interesting. These people are like Apple, Steve Jobs kind of founding team kind of feeling I was getting, because from the design to the approach and everything was something I was attracted to them. But I had zero people that I knew at Razorpay, or anyone that they knew at Razorpay, right? There was no way to like penetrate. And I knew that a digital marketing manager position will open up as the company is growing. So I felt like before they open up, I should be applying for it, because generally in startups, the investors recommend CEOs that if you find a good candidate, and even if you need that candidate 6 months later, hire them now. Because when you need them, you will spend another 6 months looking for them. So generally, companies do not let go of good candidates with good attitude. It's irrespective of whether the position is open or not, and immediately fits into a position, because early stage startups people will do multiple activities. You just need people with the right attitude. So I started sending support tickets to Razorpay, that I'm planning to work. This is my work history. Wrote like a cold email to the support mail. I had to write a few times, and then the support guy forwarded to the HR. I followed up with a few times with the HR, and then I got in touch with the CEO. So getting in touch with the decision maker is the only thing that I know very well to do. I got in touch with the decision maker, and the HR said that we will create an online meeting. But then I became pricey. I said, I can't do online meeting. I want to meet him in person. Wherever you tell, I will come and meet him in person. But since they did not even have an office, they were hesitating. But we ended up meeting at a cafe coffee day, because I was like, if I don't meet them in person, I cannot show my personality. Because at that time, I still did not come with this kind of reputation that I had in the industry, right? I was still, Digital Deepak was not getting that much traffic and everything. So I met the CEO. We had a talk with the CEO and the product manager. And obviously, they are smart people. They won't just hire somebody on face value. They said they gave me an assignment. The assignment was that go ahead and uh, tell us what are the improvements that can be done on the Razorpay homepage, so that the conversion rate is increasing. But they did not even tell me what is the existing conversion rate and everything. I could come up with some 2-3 points, but I knew that I would fall short, and I really wanted to get this job. And if I get this job, I knew that it would be like good CTC. So I went to this website called clarity.fm. It is still an active website. I will put the URL here. And clarity.fm, you can hire experts to consult with them and pay per minute. So I hired somebody with 10 years of experience in conversion rate optimization, consulted with him for like an hour. He gave me 10 different ideas. He showed me PayPal website, all the international website like Stripe and everything. And whatever he said, I recorded it on a screencast thing, took notes of it. And I sent like a 10-page document, like a client proposal, that these are the things you can do on the Razorpay homepage to improve the conversion. Put the Digital Deepak logo also. And, as if I am like, getting them as a client is how I approach the job itself. I sent it to them. And within a week, I got the job offer. But I told them that, see, you need somebody who knows how to get the answer. You don't need somebody with all the answers, right? As long as I know where to get the answer, that's of value. I told them I personally invested my own money of around 20,000 rupees in spite of not having a confirmed job offer, because just like business, you invest something and get an ROI. This was an investment and a worthy investment. So I did that, and they actually kind of just laughed it off. They did not have huge worries about it because I told them explicitly. And then I got hired. And after I joined the company, there will be a Slack group, right? And in Slack, you can see the entire history of conversations. And there is a hiring channel. So in that, I was just scrolling, and the lead product manager was telling the CEO that I really need this guy. This guy seems to know digital marketing, and we can't miss hiring him. So I saw that conversation after I joined. So the entire idea is to basically sell yourself, and sell yourself with content marketing, going ahead and building your own personal brand, offering value upfront, even before they pay you for it, right? That's what, like, in business, that's what we do. Like Vishal probably came and offered extreme levels of value in a free webinar or a lead magnet or a 199 rupee workshop. And then that was probably a loss for Vishal, right? To actually spend way more than what you collect, like for a small transaction, to get them in to build the trust, right? So that way you have to, like, go ahead with it. And then 2017, I started selling courses on my blog. I had this email list which I had built through the blog, and I felt like, okay, maybe I should start selling courses. And for almost a year, I was thinking, not taking any action on where to get started. But one day I was like, as usual, it's like ready, fire, aim approach, right? Like put yourself in a situation where you have to go ahead and force yourself to get things done and motivate yourself to get things done. Because I was not very clear, hey, if I launch a course on my blog, how much will it sell for, how much revenue I can make? And before you know that, it's difficult to put efforts into it. So I created an outline, and I launched a pre-order for it, that at least if 50 sales come for 1,000 rupees, 1,000 rupees was the first price point at that time. At least if 50 sales come, I will sit and create the course and deliver it. If not, I will cancel the project and refund everyone, right? So that's what I did. And I launched the Google Ads course to my email list, around 20,000 subscribers at that time. And I made 2.5 lakhs even before I made the course. And then the same thing that I did when I was in bike advice, I followed the same format. The entire 2.5 lakhs, I put it into Facebook ads, generated more leads, launched Facebook ads course after that. I made 4 lakh in revenue, entire 4 lakh in revenue. I put it back into lead generation, launched an SEO course, made 8 lakh in revenue. Entire 8 lakh, I put it back into lead generation, launched a blogging course, 100-day blogging course, which made 22 lakh in revenue. I should have just done that, but I got a little bit distracted. And then, sometimes this happens, right, in career. Once you get some initial success, instead of being smart enough to know that you got lucky, you think that you are smart. That's the mistake that we do, that whatever we touch will turn into gold. So then suddenly I was like, okay, let's start an agency. So I got an office, hired some employees, and the growth stagnated for a while at that point. And that was a mistake that I did. And to like reverse the mistakes that I did, it took some time, because I took a co-founder, and he had his own problems on the approach of how he should be doing the business. I had my own view on how we should be doing the business. We had a little bit of conflict, and all that was happening. And then life being a bitch, I was also going through a divorce at that time. So all this is like, the actual story is like extremely messy, right? What you see on the outside is all like like what Deepti would explain on the introduction. So it all like went through a little bit of lack of focus and everything. But 2019 I was back on track. A little bit of like 6 months, 1 year, that's all it takes to get back on track. And 2019 I launched the internship program, where I was like, okay, people are buying my courses, but nobody is completing my courses. What if I incentivize people to complete the courses? So that was the idea that was in my mind. And one more thing that I had learned with life experience until that point is that if you have conviction in something, just go ahead and do it. Never ask somebody else's opinion on it, because the very action of asking somebody's opinion on your ideas means that you don't have conviction on it. If you have such a strong conviction, why would you go ahead and even discuss? Right. So I was like, at that time, if I tell my co-founder that I'm launching a program where I'm planning to give cashback and all, he will just shoot it down. And maybe if he shoots it down, then the motivation to actually go ahead and do it might not be there. So I was like preparing for this for like a month, and silently one day I launched the program. I had 1,500 people live on the webinar, because I had built some hype. And in this 3 years, 2017 to 2019, my list size grew. As I kept on reinvesting, it grew to like some 3 lakh subscribers, active subscribers. So that distribution I had, I did not have to run ads separately to get customers. So I launched this program. Again, a very bold move. I told people that this is going to be a 10-week program. There are going to be 10 assignments. And first assignment, if you complete, you will get 1,000 rupees cashback. Second assignment, if you complete, you will get 1,100, then 1,200, 1,300. So up to 10 assignments I added up, it came to 15,500 in cashback. So 1,500 people were live in the Zoom call, and that was the time where we got used to selling on Zoom as well. Before that, it was just sales pages and landing pages. So I launched this, and I said, I called it the internship program, because that wordplay was very important, because people were like, sir, I want to become an intern. I want to work in your company. So word intern had like a very strong thing, but I did explain that, hey, this internship program is like, you will earn money for your assignments, but you will be working on your own projects, not my client projects. I don't have that many clients to serve. Plus, it's like a course. For the mentorship, you have to pay. So there was no mis-selling there. I did tell it clearly. But because I called it the internship program, so many people showed up, and 500 people signed up on the same day for the program. Because I said, 10,000 rupees you pay, I will give you like 15,000 cashback, right? So that was like a very exciting day. I ended the webinar by 11 o'clock. There was nobody in the office, nobody to share my excitement with. And I finished the webinar. InstaMojo was 0 before starting the webinar. End of the webinar, InstaMojo was at 57 lakhs. 10,000 plus GST was what I collected in a single day. And then I went to the tea shop. Like the tea shop will be open until 11 o'clock at Koramangala. And tea shop, there was a guy, sir, I was in your webinar. I attended your internship program. I enrolled for it. So that's where it started in 2019. And we continued doing that until 2022. And in internship program, we have enrolled more than 12,000 students so far. collected more than 18 crores in revenue and paid out more than 10 crores in cashback. First batch May, it was just a break even, 57 lakhs collected and 52 lakhs paid in cashbacks. But then I tilted the program, 15,000 you pay, 10,000 I will give cashback. So that was the price point where it was sweet enough for people to come in that, okay, 70% of the money is going to come back as cashback, but average won't be like 70%, right? I mean, you will reduce a little bit because people get busy and life gets in the way. 1 or 2 assignments they will complete, but still the completion rate is like 70%, which is way above industry standards. And then there was a little bit, as I got popular, there was a little bit of backlash from the industry saying that some influencers were tweeting, hey, how can you call it the internship program? This is misleading. They are not working as interns in your company. You are just selling a course. So we changed the name to micro internship program, where I still retained the word internship. I added something to make it like different. And microinternship.com we acquired, we applied for trademark for the term. And now we have launched it from batch 1, batch 2 again. And right now, September, May, we are going to launch batch 3. And this is something that has been the foundation of our company. And then we have created our own high ticket programs. We are doing offline events, workshops. We are doing some client work and everything. But this micro internship program with the cashback is kind of creating a very strong relationship with my audience, because generally in India, money is a one-way transaction. You give somebody money, the money don't come back, right? So in such a trust deficit country, if you are collecting somebody's money saying that I will give the cash back, even though they trust you, even though they have seen so many testimonials, the day when they get the first assignment cash back, they are still mind blown. Oh, this guy gave the money like as promised, right? So that is a very strong trust building factor for me in the market. Yes, you can build trust by delivering a lot of value, but I figured out the best way to build trust with the masses is to take their money and give it back as promised. They will be like, "Ye to acha aadmi hai," right? So that became the foundation. So right now we have the micro internship program, which is going to cover all the aspects of digital marketing with one lesson each, like content marketing, email marketing, SEO, and Facebook ads, social media, all that. And then the next level after the internship program, we have something called Mastery Club, which is a collection of all the mastery courses, which is an in-depth program, like 10-week program in each and every topic that they have learned on 1 week. So if it is Facebook ads, we will go 10 weeks in depth for Facebook ads, and they can choose any program that they want to become better at, primarily for people who want to become freelancers. And then once people have started making at least 1 lakh a month as a freelancer, now they want to build a team, now they want to build a business. We have the next program, which is Alpha Club, which is a high ticket program with offline events, mastermind programs, one-on-one consulting and everything. So simple 3-product funnel for the entire company, instead of complicating it with 10 different products, 20 different products, or 10 different coaches or anything. It's just going to be from my personal brand, but I do have a co-founder who takes more of the delivery responsibilities of Alpha Club, because in that we do a lot of customized offers. So this is how I have evolved as an entrepreneur, and this is how things kind of worked. So this is my journey, and I hope I was just telling my story, but I hope there was a lot of things to learn from my story, and how you can take content seriously, and especially for you guys who are part of Vishal's program, who are primarily looking to crack better jobs. I think the primary thing that will work as a foundation for you is to set up a blog and start writing about whatever you know, whatever you have learned, because when you write, your thought process also becomes clear. You will become a better speaker, better YouTuber, better stage speaking. Everything will improve when you write, because when you are writing, you are forced to clarify, whatever thoughts that you collect, it's all like in a fuzzy thing. And when you are writing, you have to put it into a structure. So that is how I have been able to develop a lot of frameworks. I would like to say that I have achieved the pinnacle of how my ideal productive daily routine will be or should be, but I am very impulsive and the day never goes as planned. It's all over the place. I'm still surprised that I'm able to run a startup at this level of revenue. One thing that I have not let go of, no matter what things go out of track. One thing that I have not let go of is to write 1,000 words every day. Every day morning, as soon as I wake up, I sit and write 1,000 words, and rest of the day, meetings, emails, this, that, maybe read some books. I do consume a lot of information. So my split is approximately 1 hour per day reading books, 1 hour per day watching some video tutorials or something, and 1 hour per day audiobooks. So 3 hours per day average, I keep consuming content, which helps me mix some of the inspiration that I've got with my own experience and gives me enough ideas to keep writing. So I write email newsletters, I write books, I write blog posts. So continuous writing, right from 2008, writing is what helped me build a career, because I was able to tell the world I am good at something, right? So writing is what will get people's attention, and attention is always about content. Like, why would you sit with somebody and spend time with them? Why would you pay attention to them? Because they have something interesting to say. Without content, there is no attention. So if you create content in this noisy social media world, I actually not a very social media guy. I have always gone for in-depth content, long form content, long, like 1,000 word emails, 1,000 word blog posts, because internet is divided into 90-10. 90% of the people are just snacking on content, like reels. They will just keep scrolling 20-second reels and everything, and they probably don't have that much attention span to sit and read something in depth. And you can't really improve somebody's life with 6 productivity hacks in 20 seconds, right? You need to get the attention of the people who matter, who will read long form articles and everything. So I have always focused on that section of the audience, and I have mostly been focused more on email and blogs and books, rather than on social media. And I have resisted the temptation to continuously post content on social media. I do have a social media page on Instagram and YouTube, but most of the followers and subscribers have been a result of my email list. So having a blog, getting people to read your blog, like you can even start a blog on Ghost. So ghost.org is a very good platform. For 500 subscribers, you will pay something like $9 per month. And at this level, you guys can easily afford it. So, it has a very clean layout. No need to tinker with website hosting, plugins, updates and everything. It's very clean layout, very easy to write. And what you can do is that if you have any potential employer, colleagues, or whoever you think that you need to be constantly updating them with some content that you write, you can just add their email ID in the backend. And whenever you write a new article, it will go to them as an email newsletter, and it will also be published on your blog. So maybe you can start with that. But I think maybe in some other session, we will go deeper into how my email setup is, how my blog setup is, all that we can, talk about. One small thing I will tell before we get into the Q&A session. So I created this blog called winnertakeall.com. And this was from the experience of trying to approach to multiple serious people in the industry to ask for investment for my company. So just like you go and ask for a job and build your brand and try to win a job or a client, you're also selling to investors, right? You are selling to customers, you are selling to team members, you are selling to investors as a CEO at any point in time. So when I tried to approach a lot of CEOs, I did not get their patience and time to understand my vision and go ahead and talk about what is it that I do, because they wouldn't have the attention span to understand what I do and think about whether they can invest in my company or not. So instead, I created this blog, and I added these people as subscribers on my blog just by asking them, hey, I'm writing about my entrepreneurship journey on this blog. Would you like to go ahead and be a subscriber of it? They would say yes. And I would just write one email every week. And the open rate for some serious people who have tried to get their time offline, who have constantly been postponing next week, they will have open rates like 90%, because no CEO is writing the story of how they are building their company, how they are looking at the growth patterns, or whatever it is their vision, they are not writing. So I was able to get the attention of potential investors as well through writing. So that is my next level of sell, right? Initially, I was selling myself to employees. Then I was selling myself to customers. Then I was selling myself to team members to join my vision and work with me. Now the next level is that I have to sell my vision to investors so that we can grow this even bigger, serve more customers, build a bigger team. So write, and you will be able to build a very strong career out of your writing. And writing is what would market your skills, whatever technical skills you have. When you write, you are like amplifying those opportunity for the technical skills to be put in the right place at the best remuneration. So yeah, that's that. I hope you guys liked the thoughts.
What gives you that energy when you get up in the morning and you think that, I have to write? There must be some big why which you must be trying to achieve and wanting to think that, if I achieve this, then my life is fulfilled.
Honestly, I would say that it is survival only, because if I have an email list and if I keep them engaged, I know that I can launch a product to the list anytime and the sales would come. But again, once you get better at something, you also enjoy doing it more. A sense of satisfaction in the morning that I have done something productive today is coming when I am like sitting and getting that article done, because sometimes I wake up early and get the article done before my wife wakes up. Sometimes I am like waking up late and she's also waking up at the same time. She's making coffee for me, coming and bringing the coffee, and I'm like seriously writing. And then she's like, whole day you are like busy, at least in the morning spend time with me. Like while drinking coffee, at least don't be keeping looking at the laptop. And then I'm like, no, I have like, I'm not going to argue with this article I've started writing, I have to finish it, because I know that this is like the central fulcrum of the entire machine that runs my business. So if one day I don't write, even if I don't feel like writing, it is not like a bigger sense of purpose that is driving me. It is just the fact that if I don't write today, tomorrow writing is going to be more difficult. Just like going to the gym. One day you don't go, 2 days you don't go, then it becomes more difficult on the third day. So I know that sometimes I don't even know what to write. I'm just sitting there staring at the blank screen. And then I go and look at some of my community. Somebody is asking something, sir, what about this? What about this? And generally, what we write is what people want to read. And basically, you can do a kind of keyword research within your community itself. Like what is basically keyword research is you are understanding what people are typing into Google. These are the questions that people have in their mind. So doing AMA session with your community or just talking to people, what are their challenges that they are going through? Like, maybe from your angle, or your community's angle, if you go to a conference and if you are getting to talk to a CEO of a company, ask them, what are the things that keeps you awake at night? Like, what is your challenge? uh, Based on that only, like, you have to create content. The content is always an answer to the questions that people have in their mind. People who just keep writing but they just want to tell the world what they think, is not going to work. The content is only going to get traction if it is answering a question that people have in their mind. So it definitely motivates me to write, because I know that there are people who are like have like a perfect calendar, this time to this time this meeting, this time to this time this meeting, and they're like efficient throughout the day. I honestly run out of energy by lunch, and if after having lunch, mandatory since the past 10-15 years I've experienced as a part of my life, I need to take an afternoon nap. So from around 2:30 to 3:30, 4 o'clock, I am like napping and then waking up and then again getting back to work. Yes, obviously I do 9 o'clock webinar sometimes and everything, but my afternoon nap is mandatory. So I know that I can't be like super productive throughout the day and churn out that much. And this is something that works for me. So just don't miss that writing. If I just hold on to that single rope, right, my career is saved, my business is saved. So that's what motivates me. So the larger purpose comes, yes, the larger purpose on many other things that I do, many other activities that I do. But this is purely a survival game. You have to stay relevant, and the crying baby gets the milk. If you are not creating content, people are not paying attention. You can't build a community, you can't build trust, you can't sell to them. So keep them engaged. If I'm going on a vacation, if I have internet connection, I will still write and engage the community. Sometimes, rarely, I can't write. I take an email or a blog post that I have sent 90 days or more before, just rewrite it a little bit and send it again. Most of the people won't remember, right? So that can be like a small hack. If I'm going on like an extended vacation, which has not happened for a while, but last time when I went to Bhutan for like 9 days, I had scheduled like I wrote articles, like 2-3 articles a day I wrote for like 2 weeks before that vacation, and I scheduled it so that it feels like I'm sending the mail. So that is the concept of digital Deepak, that even if the physical Deepak is not doing it, the digital Deepak will engage the community, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Deepak. This
Thank
is
you.
really, really mind blown. And now, I can just tell you something about the audience. Now, these people are also writing every day. Since they've been the part of this community, they're writing their content on LinkedIn because that's what is attracting them the opportunities, the job opportunities.
Yes.
Now, what kind of a tip you would like to give them on that kind of a thing? They're writing every day. But then, of course, keywords and, reading the job descriptions and finding out the relevant keywords, connecting to the right people. Link method is what we also adopt. Look for the prospects, initiate the conversation, and then nurture the relationship. And then finally, go and meet the person to go and give your elevator pitch. We prepare them for elevator pitch as well. Deepti is a part of this entire program, and she prepares and trains them on the elevator pitch. So that's what, as a framework, we follow. Now, what as a tip, what as a expert in the content area, would you like to give them, which can help them improve on the content part?
So what I would suggest is that LinkedIn has a specific limit on how much of a long form content that you can write. So I usually create short form contents as portions of my long form content. I take it out and create short form content on LinkedIn. What I would say might be a good idea to add to this is that you are connecting with people who are like, important people. Like, recently, my wife has also been, getting opportunities as a content writer. And she has been trying to get clients from LinkedIn directly. But she recently got Ali Abdal as a client for her content writing services. But how she got him as a client is that when very important CEOs and decision makers are there on LinkedIn, they might not be scrolling through the LinkedIn feed. So post it on LinkedIn, post a longer version of it on your blog. And if you connect with someone, there is this tool called Get Prospect.
Yes, getprospect.com.
Right?
Yeah.
You might have shared it with your community already.
Yes.
So with that, you can find the email ID of the decision makers.
Right.
And go and send them a mail. Don't ask for something right away in the beginning. Say that, hey, I'm a consultant with so many years of experience in this. I hope you don't mind if I add you to my newsletter. So I will quickly show the backend of the Ghost blog. So this is how the Ghost blog. So this is a new blog that I started. It has only 33 subscribers right now. And if you go and write a new post, it will be as simple as just adding a title and adding an article here. But if you go ahead and publish it, then all the people who are subscribed, there will be a good open rate if you handpick people who are going to read your newsletter. So you just need to go into the members section, click on new member here, enter their name and email ID, and just save it. The next time you publish a new blog post, it will go to their email, and it will be a very well formatted, well designed email that is going to them, that they won't feel like, hey, this is spam. Right? So if you can get their attention on email, and if it is something valuable, and on your blog, you have a link which says that, hey, hire me or consult with me or contact me, right? Then that call to action will probably help you cut through the noise of LinkedIn, because over time, any social media network, you will gain more and more followers and the reach will be less and less. That is given. Because any social media network, whether it be YouTube or Instagram, initially there is a huge influx of users, which makes the platform popular. But as more creators come and create more content, then the distribution power of that content kind of goes away. You never unfollow people from LinkedIn or unsubscribe from YouTube channels. You just subscribe to more and more. So it gets diluted and divided. But in email, you unsubscribe. A lot of people would have unsubscribed from email, which are repeating, which means email is the only area where people are kind of paying attention and also curating their experience, that who should be able to mail me. So obviously, if you keep on spamming people, then they will unsubscribe. But if you are adding value, if you are sharing your expertise on email with the decision makers directly, like I started, no investor would come and subscribe to my blog where I am writing about my company. But I would ask them, hey, can I add your email to my newsletter? I will write one email a week. So that LinkedIn pieces of content that you post, maybe make something meaningful out of 2, 3 posts that you have done. Make it a little bit of an in-depth article. Add some statistics. This is one big hack that you can take home. As soon as you put numbers, or if you take the effort of putting numbers into a chart by creating a chart on Google, you are an expert. As soon as you put numbers, you are an expert, right? Because statistics is something where it's not your opinion. It is something that you have curated, and people always pay attention to statistics. So if you can create a blog post with some statistics, and then you can again recreate that blog post as a slideshow and put it on LinkedIn again. But LinkedIn alone cannot be a dependable distribution channel, because a lot of people are connected with you, but you don't know their email ID. And if you post a new LinkedIn post, how much it reaches the people who are following you is completely dependent on LinkedIn's algorithm. But if you are having your own email list, you are going to be able to reach everybody. And there is no algorithm that is preventing you saying that I will allow only 10% of people to receive the mail. So email ID is owned distribution. And if you have owned distribution, then you will be able to probably not just get a good job, but also become an author in the future and be very well connected in the industry, where people know you and they invite you for conferences as a speaker, and all those opportunities starts coming up when you have a distribution system. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think
Yes.
this is something which, in fact, I got to know that, having an email list is more important than only and only depending upon LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
together,
Exactly.
as a combination, this can beautifully work.
Yeah. I will just quickly show my primary email marketing accounts backend dashboard. So this has been built over a period of time. Obviously, this is like a B2C business. The list is much larger. So here you can see this is ConvertKit, the tool that I use for sending emails, and 134,000 subscribers with an average open rate of 18%. So for the event that we did recently, where we had 400 attendees, all the tickets were sold only through the email list. We did not run a single piece of ad for it. And this has been building since 2017 in a serious pace. And you can see the recent email campaigns that I have sent also. 17%, 31%, 19%, 19.7%. So, which means that I would be able to reach at least 70 to 80% of my audience if I send like 2 or 3 emails and resend it to unopened. Obviously, if the goal is to just get a job and a better job, it's not necessary to build such a large email list. But if your email list starts becoming really bigger, then you can monetize the email list by doing consulting or coaching on the side. Like whoever is an expert, you want to take a few personal mentees for mentoring on the side. Email list is what is going to help you get the distribution.
Hey guys, I hope you had a good time, and I will never forget this session. Once again, mind blown by this person's energy, this person's simplicity. As Sugita ma'am rightly pointed out, I am impressed. I'm just making notes after notes that how many things he was talking about in a very different zone, in a very different world. Digital marketing is going to take over. I'm telling you, he gave that answer that, we can get that another Silicon Valley coming up, another island coming up, as Rama Sangli also pointed out. Let's see how it goes. So looking forward, I hope you guys had a good time.